Welcome to Opening Boxes of Books in Uncle Buck's Library. I'm Lex. This is Uncle Buck. This is the 35th box of books I inherited out of the 66, and we're going to open up and see what's inside. It's usually a long journey, 10 or 15 minutes, but let me know if you know any of these books or see any that you want to get or hear more about. So this one just says Bahama Mama on it, so I'm not sure what that means, but thanks, Uncle Buck. Let's see what we got. Oh, drug books. All right. Psychoactives, my own field of study. I won't say all these out loud, in fact, but this is Analogues from one of our favorite plant mother medicines. That looks cool. Including Kilgore Trout, who is the expert on this stuff. That's upstairs. This is a double. I have this one already because this is a classic, The Secret Chief. This was about Leo Zeff, the guy who did all of the early underground work with one of the great head twisters of the party scene and introducing it as a therapy. Really a wonderful piece of work, especially because he was a hard swearing kind of therapist, which is cool. Oh, this is a classic too. This is Grinspoon's book on reconsidering these, and he was the guy who changed the minds of the medical establishment on our favorite plant. And his son is still teaching the stuff and really great as an MD. Here's a cool looking history book, Patterns of Medieval Society. Jeremy de Quincey Adams. Sounds like someone who's born to write history. Oh, look at that. There's a classic. The Head Twisting Experience by Leary, Metzner, and Alper. They're manual based on the Book of the Dead. Shamanism Healers and Medicine Men by Cal Wheat. Look up basic summary kind of book. The Last Ghost Dance, a guide for Earth Mages by Brooke Medicine Eagle. Best-selling author of Buffalo Woman Comes Singing. Oh man, one of the most respected Native American teachers of the modern era shares a groundbreaking philosophy of spiritual transformation. Oh my god, that looks great. Put that on the take upstairs and check out right away. Or actually put that on that feminist shamanism book video list I have going. Oh, this is a great one. Storming Heaven by Jay Stevens. This is one of the best books on the head twister. It starts with an L. Stormy. This is a fantastic piece of journalism and thought about an era. Carlos Castaneda, The Second Ring of Power. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can read. I wouldn't bother Castaneda anymore. Now it sounds like he was kind of a creep and made up some of it. Oh, another classic, The Varieties of Head Twisting Experience by Masters and Houston. This is a great one. The first comprehensive guide to the effects of L on human personality. This is a really important book. They were real scientists looking at what does this do? Cleansing the Doors of Perception by Houston Smith, our beloved, and it's his writings on entheogenic plants. Oh, I would put that on the take upstairs. I'm reading through a bunch of Houston Smith stuff. He's just dementious. He's the best Christian maybe ever produced in the last century. Logs to A by Ott. This would be really good. Ott is absolutely one of the best writers in the field. L by Otto Snow. Oh, this is a guy using it for headaches. Oh, cool. Yeah, one of the most important uses. Look up Cluster Busters if you're into that. Leary's The Head Twisting Reader. I'm sure that would be worth checking out. He was a good curator. Yeah, I have a good number of these. This is Tripping is excellent. It's a whole bunch of people's stories. Very, very cool. 50 narratives. This is the most important writing on this stuff. At this point, all these people's summaries, who cares? Reading people's individual experience is the best way to get to know this stuff, or listen to it. I have a series like that I did of open mic storytellings across the country right before we had kids, and they're still online. They're wonderful pieces of work. I can link to that. Higher Wisdom. Eminent elders explore the continuing impact of head twisters. Oh, this is a good list. Betty Eisner, Fadiman, Groff, Michael Harner, Hoffman, Huxley. Okay, this is cool. Anne Shulgin, Houston Smith. Okay. Yeah, this was edited by Walsh and Grove. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, this stuff is right up my alley. This is a fun one. An Oral History of Huxley. Oh, take that upstairs. He's close to my heart. Despite some political leanings, but he's such a smart guy. Fahe's Wisdom's Maw. Oh yeah, this is about this is a kind of out there history about perhaps the CIA was more involved with getting this stuff out into the world. This is a deep conspiracy of what was going on, and we'll probably never know, but it is, from what I know, it is darker than is often known. Castaneda's Active Side of Infinity. Don't care that much. The Life and Unsolved Murder of Presidential Mistress Mary Meyer, a very private woman. Yeah, this is supposed to be a good one. And then Mary's Mosaic is the one by a close friend of the family. So if you care about the JFK thing, this is the entire JFK assassination in micro with his mistress. It's terrible. It's terrible stuff. Put that up there in the history. The Cultural Cold War, the CIA and the world of arts and letters. Oh, but that's a good history. Yeah, you know, the CIA founded the Paris Review. Yeah, other like leading literary magazines. The Ouija, Softcore, War for Our Brain. You know, stuff works too. All right, Soma, the Divine Hallucinogen by Spess. I don't know that one, but looks fine. Natural History of Medicinal Plants by Judith Sumner. And Mark J. Plotkin did the forward. I like Mark. Zen Effects. The Life of Alan Watts. Well, that's worth checking out. He's a fascinating guy. He was a real drunk, but, you know, we all have our foibles. So, Mike J's High Society. Mike J's a great historian. I'd be curious. This must be a high overview. Oh, it is. It's a high overview from him with lots of pictures. He loves images. He loves the stories. Like, he's an excellent, any of his books. All his history books are worth reading. This is Schlosser's Reefer Madness. This is Sex, Drugs, and Cheap Market in the American Black Market. Yeah, that's a well done history. This I've really been running to read. Great, I don't have to buy it now. This is about this, the active ingredient. And they often call this the softest of all of them. That this is the easiest, sweetest, or something really so touching about this, and so few of us have experienced it, especially in the just chemical form. So, and then this is by Mike J. So that's the same historian. And look at you, Uncle Buck. You read half of this. Thanks, Uncle Buck. These are great books to have for my research. The Strong Eye of Shamanism, A Journey in the Caves of Consciousness, Robert Ryan. Oh, this is talking about how you used those early caves with the cave paintings for head twisting purposes. Use some drums, some candles, maybe some entheogens, maybe not entheogens. You don't need them. Of Water and Spirit, Ritual Magic, and Initiation and Life of an African Shaman. Cool. Oh, and Alice Walker? Clarissa Pinkola Estes, Robert Bly. My God, I missed out by not knowing about that. That looks amazing. A Question of Torture. Alfred McCoy, who broke open the CAA being one of the main dealers of through the Vietnam War. And this is his book, A Question of Torture, and the interrogation methods used during the Cold War to the War on Terror. So this is one of the great historians who broke up one of the first important stories, and this is him going through recent times on the CIA and doing terrible things to people. It's terrible studying this stuff. Here's Mark J. Plotkin, who I mentioned earlier, Medicine Quest in Search of Nature's Healing Secrets. He also wrote Tales of a Shaman's Apprentice. A cool guy. Okay. Forest of Visions. This is an ayahuasca book on the Santo Daime tradition by Alex Polari de Alverga. This is on the Divine Cactus by Edward F. Anderson. Looks good. Oh, and that was the second edition. Here's the first edition. Uncle Buck. Let's put that on the giveaway pile. Leary and the Harvard Papers. So this is his early writings. It's good to have this stuff, I guess, from history later, but I'm not so interested in Leary. This is Schultes and Hoffman on the botany and chemistry of the head twisters. So this is an early classic. That's cool. Awesome. Gerald Hurd. Look at that guy. Does he not look like he's a spiritual leader and like a polymath? This is his book, Pain, Sex, and Time. And the forward is by Houston Smith. And I was just reading Houston Smith's biography, how much he loved Gerald Hurd and thought he was one of the best thinkers of all time. And he mentioned about what he wrote about pain being so influential to his thinking about religion. So I would love to read this. And this is from 1939. So that looks great. Put that up there. I never know how to say this word. Pharmacognosy by Pratt and Youngkin. That's a good textbook. What is this? A is for Aspen. Uncle Buck. Is this a kid's book? And is this like set in Colorado where we had our firstborn with you as an adopted grandpa? Oh, I love when we find kids stuff in here from Uncle Buck and Auntie J, because I found 2 puzzles just like 2 boxes ago. Now there's this. Like, it's so cool to have adopted grandparents still giving books to read to me and the kids. Thanks, Uncle Buck. Intoxication by Eagle. This is a classic in the field. The Road to Lucius by Wasson, Hoffman, and Ruck. Another classic in the field. Or they say they probably maybe overstepped the data a little bit in wishful thinking, but yeah, because the data isn't there doesn't mean people weren't using head twisters. Oh, this is one about a U.S. veteran who was in Afghanistan and then went to the plant medicines of the Amazon and their journey with this. So these are really important stories for how these things work. Divine Rascal. Oh, On the Trail, Michael Hollingshead. Michael Hollingshead, this is great. And Andy Roberts is a great historian. I bet this is a great book because Hollingshead was like the Pied Piper trickster of the 60s who was sprinkling this stuff. He had a famous mayo jar that turned out to be filled with L, and he just dosed it out everywhere. But where is he getting it? Like, you know, pretty clear intelligence community connections. But like a fascinating cat. Another book I've been meaning to get to, Merlin Sheldrake's Entangled Life, and it's about fungi. So he's the son of Rupert Sheldrake, who does all the supernormal research type stuff, who's quite interesting. And his son is a great, he has some great albums, and it's just like a cool, weird thinker. And this is his book on fungi, Entangled Life. So that got really well reviewed, I saw. And then this is an alchemical study of the ergot mushrooms called The Elixir by William Scott Shelley. Doesn't that look interesting? I've heard of that. One weirdo gets so obsessed with stuff and does a book like that, who knows how many people read. In fact, my own book just came tonight, and it's going to be one of those. People who know it are going to like it. And it's going to be a little niche piece like any of these in here. And some kid in 100 years is going to pull it back and like, this looks cool. And they'll like it. Just like I like some of my buddies from 100 years ago. Mordecai Cubitt Cook. So anyway, this is The Ghost Dance Religion and Wounded Knee by James Mooney. This is a really important history of the ghost dance of the Native American spiritual movement. What a terrible story. Okay, and one book left. Leary, Design for Dying. Look at that, with R.U. Sirius doing the writing. So that's a good flashy one to end on. Thanks for all these head twisting books. This is really a phenomenal collection, Buck. So hopefully you found something there that interested you. If you have any questions about that stuff or any of these books, just let me know in the comments.